All right, so everyone's talking about it, right? This NBA trade, Knicks, Timberwolves, Karl-Anthony Towns switching jerseys before we even see this season's. Like, crazy.
No kidding. This is huge.
Huge. And we're diving into it all with takes from Dan Titus, Dan Devine, and E. Ben Rohrbeck.
And even the experts don't all agree on this one, which is what makes it so interesting to break down.
Exactly. So whether you're diehard fan or just kind of curious about the NBA, this deep dive is going to, arm you for those water cooler debates.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is the kind of trade that changes everything.
Right. This isn't just some minor preseason thing. So first off, did anyone even win this trade? Titus seems to think the Wolves might have played this perfectly, especially for the long game.
Yeah, he's all about that financial freedom they got. I mean, Towns' contract was massive. Yeah. And with Edwards' extension coming up, that's huge.
Speaking of Edwards, Titus basically says they can build a real contender around him now.
It's smart. But Devine makes a good point. It's not just about salary cap space.
Right.
He says both teams are taking a risk here, trying to fix weaknesses without, creating new ones.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, he actually compares the whole trade to a halfway happy compromise. I love that.
Compromise. So no one's doing cartwheels just yet.
Exactly. And Rohrbeck kind of says the same thing. They just swapped problems, basically.
Swap problems.
He gives the Knicks a slight edge, because on paper, at least they got the best player out of the deal. But
it's not a sure thing.
Not at all. And this is what gets so interesting.
Yeah.
We got to think bigger than just who got the better individual guy on the roster.
Fit the style, even the personalities, all that matters.
Big time. And that's what we'll unpack next.
Love it. All right, so let's talk Knicks then. Championship's the goal, right? This trade, get them closer.
Rohrbeck seems to think so.
Yep.
Says they're right up there with the Celtics now. Biggest threat in the East, potentially.
Bold statement.
It is. But then Titus reminds us, talent only takes you so far if you're always injured.
True. And the Knicks have had some injury trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Devine's a little hesitant about the whole thing. Sees a team with maybe amazing offense, but big question marks on defense.
Which is fair. I mean, they could be incredible to watch Brunson and Towns pick and roll. Come on.
Right. Bridges and Anunoby spotting for threes. It's going to be fun.
But can they win, those gritty, low-scoring battles?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It's like they built this high-powered sports car.
All speed, no brakes.
Maybe. We'll see. Are they all style, no substance? Or are they about to run away with the East? We're about to find out.
And that's what makes this so fascinating. This is why we love the NBA.
Absolutely. We'll be right back to break down the Timberwolves side of this trade. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so we talked Knicks championship hopes. What about the Timberwolves, though? Did this trade, kill their chances?
It's funny the experts are kind of split on this one. Devine sees them staying put, basically.
Okay, so not better, not worse.
Yeah, pretty much. He doesn't think this move changes their outlook that much.
Interesting. Okay, so what about Titus, then?
Titus still has them as a top team, but he does say integrating Randle takes time.
Oh, for sure. It's a whole new system.
Exactly. Randle's used to being the guy on offense, right?
Right.
Now he's with Edwards and Gobert.
Yeah.
That's got to be an adjustment.
Huge adjustment. Makes you wonder how Coach Finch handles it all. Does this make his life easier or harder?
Million-dollar question, right? And Rohrbeck brings up a really interesting angle. He thinks the Wolves were already contenders.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he sees this as them planning for the future with Edwards.
So not just this season, but building for when Edwards is the guy.
Exactly. And they can build around him more freely now without Towns' contract.
Right. Got to have that financial wiggle room, especially if they want to keep Edwards happy long term.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That's how you build a dynasty. Keeping your stars A&D having the flexibility to add more pieces.
Smart. So they're playing chess, not checkers. It's like you said earlier.
Exactly. But here's where it gets even juicier. Rohrbeck talks about that thing you can't measure chemistry.
Ooh, interesting. Did the Knicks lose some of their edge trading away guys who just played so hard?
That's the question, right? Will Towns be that leader in New York? Can he handle the pressure?
Because we know the Knicks fans are passionate, to say the least.
For sure. And on the flip side, can Randle actually thrive outside of New York? Maybe he plays more freely without that spotlight.
See, this is what's so awesome. It's not just about stats and contracts. It's about people and how they react to pressure and change.
Totally, like a high-stakes social experiment or something, but with insane athleticism on top of it.
Don't forget the Eastern Conference just got flipped on its head.
Yeah.
Imagine Brunson versus Tatum in the playoffs. Towns and Embiid battling it out.
Oh, man, chills. This is going to be must-watch TV. We're talking edge of your seat, can't miss a second stuff.
Exactly. And speaking of things that are must-watch, there's this whole other layer to this trade we got to unpack.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Money, money, money. We got to talk salary cap. Okay, so we talked about like the on-court stuff and the whole salary cap chess match. But honestly, the best part of this whole thing is the fans.
Oh, yeah.
They are fired up piece.
Oh, absolutely. Sports wouldn't be the same without that fan energy.
For real. And this trade, it's like poking a beehive with both these fan bases.
Bad kidding. You got everything from this is it, championship, to like, I can't believe they did this.
And that's what makes it so great. You just feel something about this trade, right? Like, love it or hate it, you're invested.
It's that emotional connection, right? Keeps us coming back for more.
Totally. We get caught up in the what-ifs, and this trade has a buffet of them.
Right. Like we're at the first chapter of a brand new book and have no idea what's going to happen.
And here's the thing. Both teams rolled the dice here. They're betting on their vision for the future.
Big time. So that's the million-dollar question now, isn't it? A year from now, when we're deep into a new season, who's happier with this deal?
Right. Who's taking that victory lap? It's going to be fun to watch it all play out.
And that's what we love about the NBA, man. This isn't a video game. These are real players with real careers on the line.
It's going to be a wild ride. So buckle up, folks. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to break down another corner of the sports world. Until then, keep those debates lively and those hot takes coming.